What's up, everybody? Long time no see. Out in Waikiki, about to meet an internet legend. Let's go.
Yo, what's up? It's Travis Wu in the flesh. And the dog, look at this dog, man. The cutest dog on the internet.
Editing used to be a very expensive thing to do because you needed someone in the first world. You pay them a first world wage with nice equipment and nice software. Now you have a Bangladeshi with CapCut and a smartphone and fast internet, and it's a $5 an hour skill, right? So,
Yeah, shouts out to Bangladesh.
you think about a movie and those cuts where it's 3 minutes with no cuts, that's hard to do. So that's what's getting rewarded now. No editing. Yeah, maybe over there. No editing.
Out in Waikiki,
I came out here. Thanks a lot for meeting me, Travis.
Welcome.
I wanted to meet you for
Aloha.
a few years now. I've known about you for a long time now because I grew up playing Magic the Gathering since like high school, and you were a prominent professional in the game, and you were always an eccentric character in the community, always very interesting to listen to. And then you branched out. You came out here to Hawaii, one of the greatest places on planet Earth. You've been doing all sorts of different stuff, different YouTube channels, recent success on Instagram you were just talking about. And I think that we're similar in some ways. That's why I like to check you out. That's a weird thing to say. I like to follow your journey and kind of get ideas and get inspired with my own life, because I think we are similar in a lot of ways, and I think having a conversation with you could help
Right.
a lot of people.
I'm trying to remember, by the way, did we not do a podcast?
We did a podcast. Yeah, we did a
2018 or
podcast.
2019?
We did a podcast.
2019?
Yeah, we did a podcast.
2019, 2018, something like that.
That happened.
2020. Okay, I thought so.
The podcast happened.
All right, how do you think that we're similar?
Because you're not from here, and you took a radical step in changing your
Okay, I
life
see
and
it already.
finding what is right for you,
Yeah.
finding your place in the world. But also, we're both still single, not married, no kids.
That's very common.
But I mean, yeah, but I'm not satisfied with that.
I'm very satisfied as single. I don't think I will ever get married. It's very unlikely.
That's actually
Well,
what I
how-
wanted to talk to you.
Will I have kids? Probably.
Okay. But you want to have like a Andrew Tate sort of situation.
Not necessarily. It has everything to do with the legal structure in America. There's no reason to do it, especially on my like the industry I work in, my income trajectory. It's like it just doesn't make sense. It's just a terrible contract to sign.
What if you got a prenup?
My understanding, one, if there's a prenup, then I'm not really religious. What's the point? Still, what's the point? But my understanding is prenups are not always honored. It's not ironclad, so you still have legal risk. I've heard way too many stories and seen too many men's lives destroyed because taking half, it's not easy to divide your net worth in half, especially if you own real estate. Like, you lose your home, and then guys end up, it's a path towards homelessness. I know that it's it is, no, there's a lot of men. who
Marriage is
end
a
up-
path towards homelessness.
Marriage is a path towards homelessness. Just don't see it.
But so if you want to have kids, but you want to avoid marriage because the legal situation around it, how are you going to actually establish a strong foundation for a family without it?
That's a great question, and part of it is, I think, realistic expectations up front. I don't know that I'm going to stay with someone forever. That hasn't been my experience.
Yeah.
My experience has been like midterm relationships of a couple years, and like many of those, and that's
Yeah.
like maybe more natural. It's more, I want someone who I can co-parent with. Who, like, okay, if we don't stay together, like, how are we going to do this? That's the benefit to the kids, and like we're kind of agreeable with each other. So I'm looking for agreeableness and just, can we get along as friends? Like, I think that's important.
I don't think that's important at all. I think that's crazy. I don't think men and women can be friends, period. So I don't think that should be a factor at all.
What do you mean they can't be friends?
They
I
could,
have
they
so
could.
many female friends.
Okay,
It's
you
just
can
to
be
me.
friends if you don't want to fuck each other. But if you're fucking each other, you're already beyond friends. I'm talking just friends. Platonic friends with no other strings attached. It's not possible unless you find each other ugly or one of you is gay.
I think it's possible if both people find each other mutually attractive, but just don't want to be in a relationship. that's a lot of my female friendships are like that. Where it's
Really?
like there's mutual attraction. I'm not trying to date you. She might have another guy, or it's like I'm not exactly her type, but like
What's the basis of that relationship is sex, no?
we're not necessarily having sex. It's like
So
it might
what
be
do you-
experience, just friendship. The same reason like guys get together.
I just can't.
That has been my experience. That's a lot of my experience, really.
Okay, so here's the difference though. When guys get together, guys do stuff.
Yeah,
I guess in Hawaii, there's a lot of
right.
co-ed, like surfing. There's a lot
Yeah.
of activities you could do together with women too.
Uh-huh.
I think for the most part, maybe in other places, men and women have different interests and do different things.
For sure.
So maybe it's a little bit more rare in other parts of the world. I don't know.
I don't know that my experience is common, but I mean, this year, I like to travel with women who are friends and not necessarily have sex.
Yeah.
Tourism, like hiking, adventure, travel. I'm not necessarily interested in having sex in these trips also, because there's things that I want to do and I have limited time in these places.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go alone necessarily, and I'd rather go with an attractive woman than with a guy. And sometimes when there's mutual attraction, it makes it more likely that the things actually happen, that they show up. I mean, you're right though, it might be that the girl has a greater interest in me or I have one in her, but I mean, we were talking about Dan Bilzerian. In his book, there's a little bit where it's like, this is a woman who got punched and pushed off a stage and there was a lawsuit involved. And Dan's like, yeah, she didn't want, what was it? She wanted to be monogamous. They just they decided to be friends and they traveled together and didn't have sex. So here's like a guy who's known for having sex with all the women and he's like,
Dan Bilzerian has a female friend.
yeah, he has female friends who he
platonic.
doesn't have sex with. Yeah, there was multiple in the book.
That's wild, man.
Yeah. You know, not every try to have sex with every woman. It just doesn't make sense.
No, but I mean, but it's difficult to form a friendship with without a lot of similarities or without similar interests or without similar activities.
I agree
and it's
with you.
harder to find a woman who fits that category in general. That's all I'm saying.
It depends what your interests are. I mean, if your interests are Magic the Gathering, there were not a lot of women in that. But outdoor activities like camping, hiking, snorkeling, diving, surfing,
That's true.
it's pretty mixed gender. And
That makes sense.
yeah,
That makes
it's
sense.
been my experience in my 30s that it's much easier to make friends with women than men, actually.
Yeah.
Because men, you need... a lot of my male friends have come through team sports, like some kind of ritualistic combat or shared trauma or something, and it's... A lot of the guys drifted away because they moved somewhere else or they had kids.
Define ritualistic combat.
Basketball.
Okay, okay.
Or
You mean
football, soccer.
sports, okay.
Sports are ritualistic.
I thought you were clubbing each other with wood.
could be LARPing.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, guys aren't fit to play sports or have time. It's just, in my 30s, it's been much harder to make male friends and much easier to
I
make
think it's just
female
hard to make friends in general. And also, the word friend is so loosely defined. It's like, I don't even know if we're talking about the same thing.
I mean, you said sort of shared activity interest partners.
Yeah, but then that's the basis of it, right? And then the more you do things together, the more you form a bond, and the more it becomes like I think a friend needs to be somebody who will go the extra mile for you. Like,
Right, I
be
agree.
selfless for you. That's what friendship is.
Or do
It's hard to
something.
find people who do that at
Do
all.
something to help. If you ask them for a favor,
Yeah.
or my car broke down, can you pick me up?
Yeah.
A friend would pick you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Women can't fix cars. That's,
Yeah, but they can pick you up. I mean, if my car broke down, I would be calling
no, I'm joking.
women,
I'm
not
joking.
men. Yeah.
I'm not trying to make this like a
I know.
sexist
No,
gender
it's
argument.
interesting. I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah, because so I'm at a point. I just broke up with a long-term girlfriend. I'm not quite sure what I want to do. I know I want to have kids. I don't know where I want to settle down. Marriage, I think, is necessary to have a foundation for a family to have healthy kids, to raise children the right way, I think it is important. Because what you described earlier, where it's like, I don't know how long it's going to last. Maybe things come and go. Maybe I'll have like, a child with 2 or 3 different women. That's like a very loosey-goosey type of environment for child rearing. And I don't want my kids to end up having, there's some trauma and like, mental things that would arise from that sort of situation. Well, so I think the commitment's important. The legal stuff, I agree with you, is not great, but the commitment, just showing that you're prepared to make this life promise. Even if things change, you're going to change together, you're going to work through it, and you've already made that commitment. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. I mean, the women certainly want some kind of a commitment. I'm not suggesting not being involved. I have a really strong parental or paternal instinct, like for my, my pets.
Yeah.
So I don't want to just necessarily donate to sperm bank or to women who are just want the genes, because
how many women are trying to get your gene?
Theoretically, I mean, this is something that happens as women age. Late 30 women are like, all right, I just, they knock on the friend's door and say, hey, I'm seeing some of this happen.
Now, that happens in Japan, too. They come after you once they're like 28.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'd like to be involved. It's just more of a pessimism or a realism of, if this doesn't work, then what is co-parenting going to look like? Not that co-parenting is the plan.
Well, you did say you're not so religious, and I think that is basically the critical element. Because if you are Christian, for example, then it is a bigger deal, and it's not just, it's not just a promise.
Yeah.
It's like a sacred covenant with God. And so, like, if you look at the American divorce rate pre-1970, it was like nothing. Nobody was getting divorced because everybody was Christian. Everybody was Christian. They treated marriage more seriously. So if you don't have the religious element, I agree with you. I think that maybe, it's better not to get married. Because what is it really
once
if it's not undergone?
It's hard to come back. It's hard to separate the religious changes from like birth control and equality in the workplace.
Well, the connected birth control, I think, helped to deteriorate Christianity as the bedrock of America, for sure. Because once you give women an easy option where they're like, oh, I can just do whatever I want with no consequences, then why should they obey the men in their life, their family? Religion starts to fall apart.
Yeah.
I remember when you first moved to Hawaii, it was actually really inspiring because I've always had that kind of urge to go back to the land. And I remember you were farming and you weren't even making money from that, right? You just knew it was what you wanted to do. It was a way to get it over here. And I thought, that's a pretty bold step to take, where you don't even have too much certainty in the future, but you want to be here. And that's the first step you want to take, right?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a hard decision. I love my family, but they rejected me in a way. And I had just been canceled from Magic the Gathering, and I had nothing holding me anywhere, no reason. I wasn't believing anything. It wasn't much of a sacrifice. But, I mean, financially, at first I wasn't being paid, and then for most of the time I was being paid $11 an hour. However, it's more than it sounds, because I got food and I got housing, and then I was making like $1,000 a month on top of that, which honestly is doing better than a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I would go back to that. That was some of the best time of my life. Essentially, I was living in a village.
Yeah.
I had the experience of living in a village, which most people never get. And so it was so
really
amazing.
Cool. Those videos were awesome.
It was fucking awesome.
Walking around with the goats.
Yeah. I was raising
the
sheep
animals.
for 4 years. That was part of my job. But, I mean, the coolest part to me was, we lived in a community. We owned 2 properties. So the commute was a 5-minute drive. That was like as far as I went most days, or most weeks.
Yeah.
As I just didn't leave. It was a compound, but it wasn't a cult.
Yeah.
There wasn't, I mean, there was a guy who had more than Like, had a lot of power, but he
Yeah.
wasn't a cult figure in any way.
Okay.
Just
Just a leader.
he, it was more of a boss than
Yeah.
a leader, to be honest.
All right.
He's fine. I mean, he's about my age, and he just happened to be like have the keys to the kingdom. But yeah, I mean, it was also like Lord of the Flies, where it was a bunch of 20-somethings just loose on the land and kind of figuring it out. And the amount of babies that were made there is absurd.
No
Like,
way.
Yeah, there was so
And you
much.
weren't involved?
I had baby making sex. It didn't lead to a baby,
Okay.
but
that was a possibility.
it was a possibility. Yeah, there was.
It would have changed your life.
It was. I'm glad. I'm glad that one didn't happen. But there's a lot of children conceived there, or people who got together. It was just the right environment. You felt secure. You're fed,
Yeah.
and there's this huge influx and mix of new people, and you spend all day together. You live together. You work together. So it just speeds relationships along very
You're also
quickly.
in Hawaii.
You're in Hawaii. Everybody feels really healthy and.
Yeah.
And vital. It was super, and you're working outside. I would have loved to do something like that again.
This might be a really good place to live, man. I'm kind of thinking.
It is a good place to live.
I could live here for sure.
It's a good place to live.
Right now, I live in the snowiest city in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Seattle. It's no mistake. I live in Waianae, which is one of the sunniest places in the world.
So I did something similar where I thought, I know I want to be in Japan. I don't know about all the details, but I know I want to be in Japan. That's just something I felt since I was pretty young. So I did that, went to Japan, and I thought I was going to get married. I thought I had all these things set in motion. Things were going according to plan. But suddenly, things changed, and I'm not really too enthused about that anymore. I don't really know what's next. I don't really know where to go from here.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
Okay. I moved to Hawaii when I was 27.
Yeah.
It's not too late to start over somewhere else.
too late. Yeah. It is a bit too late in some ways, but no, it's not too late.
It's not too late. It's always better to move earlier, but it's hard to know what the right place is. Also, I mean, what's the goal of life? One of them is to live a long life through experience, right?
Yeah.
So like 5 years in Japan and then maybe somewhere else. Like it makes an interesting life.
It was definitely interesting. I speak Japanese, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something. Like,
Konnichiwa.
I feel like a lot of it feels like I wasted time, you know what I mean? But then it's
Yeah.
like, well, I can speak Japanese. So at least there's that.
You have cool memories. It's probably a lot of stories you could tell.
Yeah.
Like what's a crazy story from Japan? It's one of the craziest, most Japanese things. Most Japanese.
There's a lot of stuff I shouldn't even say on camera.
What's the
crazy-
craziest thing you can say?
Well, I hung out with Brandon Buckingham. That was cool.
I don't know who that is.
He's like he's a big YouTuber. He's like 5 million subs.
Okay.
He hasn't posted the videos though. You gotta get on that.
Is he Japanese or
No, he came over
It's not a
and
Japanese name.
he said he was looking. He was gonna be in Japan, so I sent him a message saying I could interpret for you.
Okay.
So I just helped him make a bunch of videos. He says they're gonna come out eventually. It's just a lot of backlog.
What's
so I
the
hope so.
craziest part about that?
It's fucking crazy. It's nuts. Like we went to. There's a big. They have a store there called Don Quixote.
We have Don Quixote here.
You do?
We do, yes.
It's just nuts, right? Inside. You know Don Quixote. So
I actually haven't gone in.
okay, so you go in and they call it like a jungle. There's just shit everywhere, and there's no empty space, and they design it that way. So they just want shit to be everywhere. That's the idea of it. There's a theme song. They have like a mascot. It's a big deal in Japan. He loved it, so he bought the costume, and was like trying to get people to go into the store and telling them he'd buy them whatever they
What
want.
kind of costume?
It's like a big blue penguin,
Okay.
and he was just like standing outside in English, obviously, and he was just like, "Come, Don Quixote, I buy, you get anything." And then we ran into just like a bunch of zany characters. Like there was one guy in like a full American flag outfit, carrying nothing on him except for a fucked up iPad, and he was like, "I'm going to the Apple store. I'm just trying to get to the Apple store." And we were like, no, come to Don Quixote. We're going to find anything you want in life. And he was like, "I want love." And we're like, "All right, we're going to find you love."
This is a manufactured character or like a guy who just showed up?
This is a random guy who was wearing a full American flag costume and had a fucked up iPad.
Japanese?
Guy, yeah. So he was like, "I want to find love." And we're like, "All right, we're going to find you love in here." So we find this cute girl in the shop. And we're like, "Dude, we found you love. This is your chance. This is your moment." And he was like, "You're right." And he went up to this girl and he was like, "I love you. Will you marry me?" And then she was like, "What the fuck?" And she like, she just like freaked out. She just walked away. And then here's the thing. I thought this guy was just playing along and he was just being cool for the video. Obviously we're filming a video. No, he got on his knees and he started breaking out crying.
Damn. Oh,
Yeah.
man, that's pretty brutal.
He was committed to. He thought we were gonna help him find love.
He had this moment of euphoria.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's happening. It's going to happen.
So that's just one example. We got into semantics over there, but that was cool.
So it's the social experience that was the
Yes.
most memorable.
Social experience, the most memorable. Yeah.
I think of Japan as being a very dense place, but obviously depends where you are, right?
Yeah. I've lived in a few different cities though. I've lived in Tokyo, and it's all right. It's fun. I got friends there. I visit every once in a while. But also, I'm doing music. I'm a rapper in Japanese, so I made a bunch
Right.
of the hip hop community.
Is that very popular?
Yeah. It's the number one genre in Japan right now. That's why.
Is Japanese rap?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Is
like,
it mostly Japanese, or like for
Yeah.
you as a what do they call? Is there
gaijin.
a gaijin as a
Yeah,
gaijin
yeah.
Japanese rapper? Is that
It's still mostly Japanese.
yeah?
But
Does
I
that help
haven't-
or hurt you? Do you think?
It hurts me because ultimately I think rap music is not about the music, it's about the image. And kids want somebody to look up to and they project themselves onto them like,
They can't
oh, I could
project
be like
it on
that.
you
Exactly.
Because
yeah.
you're just different.
Yeah, so I have to
It's
go
hard
at
to be
it.
a minority.
Yeah. I've always been a minority. I'm not like white. You know, my name's not
You
like
look
stereotypical white.
Yeah,
but
but I mean,
I was always an outsider even growing up.
really,
Yeah.
you didn't fit in with the whites in
No,
America.
I didn't fit in with the whites.
What, they think you're Jewish or?
No, they know I'm Armenian.
Yeah, but Armenians white too. Like,
Well, that's debatable. Some people debate on that. But yeah, I think so. I burn in the
what
sun.
qualifies as white? To me, it's like,
Some people say it's Europe.
yeah, Europe and
Yeah.
even
But like, you know, Caucasian is the race. I am Caucasian, which comes from the Caucasus Mountains. So
okay.
like scientifically I'm white, but culturally there is debate. And also
Guess
I'm
so.
first generation American. My parents were from the Soviet Union. So
Okay.
there is that element where it's like we don't have our roots here. So yeah. Anyhow. What's the point here? What are we talking about?
Doesn't need to go anywhere. That's something we take for granted in the modern age, is being able to eat a mango and like crab and yeah.
That's my favorite quote of the video.
There's one of the coolest
Yeah.
jobs. This doesn't exist anymore. I mean, what you do depends on the era you're born in. There's a cool book called The Food Explorer.
Yeah.
What was his name? David Fairchild or Daniel Fairchild, but he ended up being employed by the USDA.
Okay.
And him and another guy, he was a food explorer, special agent food explorer, and this was before a lot of agriculture had been. This was late 1800s, early 1900s, like the turn of the century.
Yeah.
He went to like found the best orange in Brazil and sent it back on
Oh, okay.
steamships and cuttings.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah.
the Meyer lemon, his protege, they found it in China.
Okay.
Or all the popular best domesticated breeds of fruit and so on. But at the time, even though the world had become connected agriculturally, it wasn't necessarily.
Yeah.
But that makes me wonder, just being born in a different time, like that would be such a cool job. We're gonna go to China.
They still do it, like with the peppers, the spicy peppers.
Well, they're breeding now,
Slicing.
but exploration isn't a part of it.
Yeah.
Exploration was a part of it, where
It
we're gonna
still
go
Kind of
into.
could be. Like Thailand, they have so many fruits that Americans have never heard of that we don't have. We still
We've
have
heard
it.
of them. I mean, some of it it needs a certain climate to grow in, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of things aren't. Yeah, it's also one of the problems is things need to be easy to ship.
Yeah.
So a lot of the best produce is not commercially viable because
And a lot of the commercially viable fruit sucks, like
yes,
the supermarket fruit, because they have to, like tomatoes, they have to pick them
Yeah.
for supermarkets when they're unripe, because if they
Right.
were ripe, they would squish.
exactly.
And they're green and hard, but then that means they never ripened on the vine, so they're never going to be that sweet.
It's
they're never gonna be that
terrible.
good.
Even farmers markets have the same problem
Yeah.
where they pick it way too early
Yeah.
so that it doesn't go bad, but then it never ripens.
It's hard to get good food
You
nowadays.
need to own your own, or at least have closer access.
Isn't that crazy though? It's like everything else, for the most part, has gotten better and better, and then our food has gotten worse and worse.
The quantity has gotten better and better. That's the trade-off to having almost 10 billion people, which is why I think the fertility crisis and coming population collapse will probably benefit the survivors.
I thought you were.
Because
In my mind, you were going to say, which is why I think COVID was good. No.
I think it'll help the food
Something
system.
like that.
Like building, they had to scale the food system so fast
Yeah.
where population went parabolic, so they did what they had to do, which was,
But you're assuming no malice.
I'm assuming no malice, no, because it's either that, it's the only way, how else are you going to feed 10 billion people very quickly?
But I think there's malice because during COVID, Bill Gates bought all the farmland in America, essentially. Like, why is he doing that? Why does he want to control the entire food supply? Is it because, like it's not out of necessity?
Sure,
He's got an agenda, and I'm suspicious.
it could be.
So I don't
Some of
think
these
it'll necessarily
people,
get better.
They believe they're benevolent. What I mean, though, is that the time period I'm referencing is like the 1940s after World War II with the baby boomers.
Yeah.
That's when nitrogen fertilizer was discovered and was scaled.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that they had to do what they had to do. Now, I mean, the Hawaiians had a much better food system, which was feeding an estimated 600,000 people when the Europeans came here, when Cook came. And, I mean, basically what they did is the water system that flowed from the mountains, they would plant terrace crops along the way, like they call it kalo here, but it's taro.
Yeah.
And closer to as we got closer to the ocean, then they'd also have fruit trees and sweet potato farming, and then as the water reached the ocean, they would have brackish water fish ponds that were fenced in, gated, and then they would also do ocean fishing, and they were living in absurd abundance. And now it's a much less efficient food system that's much worse. We can't go back to that because they allocated the water differently, right? They had to pipe it to the different communities.
Yeah.
So you don't have the running streams that you used to have. But in the future, when there's population collapse in various places, I think there's better ways to build a food system that will take
Here's the thing, though. Here's the problem. Population collapse is not actually going to happen because of immigration and legal immigration. They're expanding with H-1B visas, and you're going to have tons of people coming in from areas of the world where they're not having a collapse, like, for example, Bangladesh, India, where they have a surplus of people. They're going to pour out into all these countries with lax immigration policies. So you're never necessarily going to get those benefits of like, okay, there's less people now. There's not necessarily going to be less people ever because they're coming in from outside.
The fertility crisis is affecting those places as well. Many of those places are above replacement, but they're still dropping from like 8 kids to 4 kids.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's going to happen eventually. It might not be at 10 billion, it might be at 15 billion, but
We're talking outside of our lifetimes at this point.
not necessarily. I mean, what are the South Koreans are at 0.7?
Well, that's an extreme case.
Yeah, but
That's a
there's
fucked up country.
yeah, there's we'll see pockets of it in our lifetime. You're right that immigration is a patch in certain places for a while, but it's coming to the globe.
Did you know there are more people living in Bangladesh than Russia?
Doesn't surprise me at all. Russia's
that
a
crazy,
wasteland.
Is that nuts?
No, it's not crazy.
No,
to
but
me.
that should terrify everyone
Why?
because they're coming.
I have I should ask him. I've got I prefer business partners. I have one contract worker, and he's from Bangladesh.
Sure.
So, I mean, it used to be 10 years ago, it was Vietnam.
Yeah.
Vietnam's kind of ascended now. Those people earn more money.
Yeah.
So it's moving to and Eastern Europe. It's moved to like Bangladesh and Africa is something I noticed. So I'm interested in hiring some African workers too, just to like kind of see what's going on there.
Could you give some general advice or perks of moving to Hawaii? What kind of person would you recommend Hawaii to?
Okay, I would say the main person Hawaii is for the very outdoorsy.
Okay.
Particularly if you love the ocean.
Yeah.
If you don't love the ocean, there's less of a reason to be here. And even locals who don't love the ocean will end up moving to Vegas or Federal Way because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
It's more expensive here. There's a tax to paradise. But you're willing to pay that if you love the ocean.
Yeah.
Also warm weather, the sun. So Part of it is tolerance to the sun. Like if you don't develop tolerance and you burn super easily,
Yeah.
it's less valuable to be here because you have less flexibility.
Yeah. I should probably live here, man.
You could, yeah. There's certain drawbacks, especially in this island. One is like I mentioned, it's really expensive.
Yeah.
It also has oppressive taxes. In addition to the federal tax, if you run your own business here, there's a 4% revenue tax
Wow.
on business done in the state.
Yeah.
There's also, it has the highest income tax and capital gains tax in the U.S. It's above California.
Yeah.
Hard place to get rich for those reasons. There's also not a lot of high-paying jobs. There's no tech industry. There's no finance industry. There's just tourism. There's a little bit of real estate. Yeah, it's tough. It's a good place to be an influencer maybe because of branding
Yeah.
and just outdoor scenery. Also, the military presence gives the island a weird gender dynamic where there's an extra 200,000 young single dudes on this island.
Oh.
It's one of the most inverted
Okay.
and worst places.
That's interesting.
Oahu in particular is an army base. It's not as bad on the other islands.
So it's very competitive to get laid.
It can be. I mean, I don't know how it plays out exactly, but it's not. I mean, it's never good when the numbers are against you. But, I mean, it depends what the women are looking for. I understand a lot of the guys just stay on base, or just go to the bars, but it's never really to
I
your
never
advantage.
realized. I never thought about that.
It's a
That's
big issue. I think
Yeah.
it's
Extra 200,000 guys.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really bad.
It's a nice place to be stationed, though. I
It
join
is.
them.
People
If I
love-
knew I would like be stationed in Hawaii, I'll join the military instantly. Like,
Right, yeah, it's a reason to be here. A lot of the people who move here too are like they're military babies.
Yeah.
What do they call them? Army brats. Yeah, and they come back. They were born here. They come back.
Yeah.
It's a great place to work in adventure tourism, working out, or agriculture.
Yeah.
This is the two main things I've done out here. If you love working outside, there's a lot of
I think
outdoor
I
jobs.
need an online income first before I consider it for sure.
It helps to to have online income.
But I do love the ocean. That's why I'm in Japan. I've always loved the ocean. Boston's right next to the ocean too. From Boston, the ocean in Japan's awesome, but can't really beat Hawaii. The color of the sea is just crazy.
It's incredible for the ocean. This guy catching a wave right over there. Yeah,
So sick,
surfing, diving, spearfishing, fishing, boating.
Spearfishing sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I actually haven't gotten into it. I think that I want to, but I'd say another thing is just to characterize Hawaii. It's a great place to try to be healthy.
Yeah.
The air quality is excellent. There's still pollution, but it blows over. It doesn't sit. The water quality is really high. And depending on where you live, this is true of anywhere, there's not that much noise pollution.
Yeah.
So depending on where you live in the world, there's like a local status game that is played and it becomes inbred. So, I mean, an example would be maybe Vegas, you want to be the top poker guy or something, or maybe you want to be the DJ. If you're in Manhattan, it's more related to finance, like managing a fund and then having exclusive access to the Guggenheim or whatever these things are.
Yeah.
And then in LA, you want to be an athlete or a model or a celebrity or something. So what's the appeal to being in Hawaii? It's not a great place to make money. It's not a great place to be famous, honestly, even though you could be an influencer here. So it really attracts people who care about health and outdoor life, and that's where a lot of the status games are played. Like being the local surfer
Okay.
who owns the North Shore.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, every year everyone looks up to you, right?
Yeah.
Or certain things.
Sounds like an anime.
Yeah, being
He's the best. Oh no.
I would say the highest status is being the strongest waterman.
Yeah.
Like the Duke has a statue, right? He was became an Olympic swimmer. He was the best swimmer in the world at the time. So I want to compete to be like, that's something I want to compete at.
Yeah.
To be strong in the ocean, not to make the most money or not to be the most famous.
That's so sick, dude.
Yeah.
This is still like a primal society.
Yeah, in a way it is.
Yeah. That's sick. Just being the strongest water, man.
Yeah,
That's so sick.
Some of my friends who are you're like a famous spear fisherman or a famous diver or a famous underwater
Well, of
photographer.
course, because if you're a spear fisherman, you got free fish for everybody all the time.
it's also
dinner parties.
such a badass way to fish.
Yeah,
Dive 60 feet and spear a tuna.
yeah.
A 200-pound tuna, and yeah, it's so
They get
cool.
tuna. I don't think they don't get
They
tuna.
do, yeah.
Not
People
often.
spearfish for ahi. They go deep for it.
Okay, but they're fast, right?
I've never done it, but I've seen videos.
Huh.
There's certain places, the same place we look for dolphins, you can find tuna. They've set up these fish aggregation buoys that, among other things, they measure the swells. That's where the surf reports come from.
Yeah.
But they'll have a chain that runs 3,000 feet to the ocean bottom. That chain attracts barnacles and small fish and big fish, and then you'll find tuna there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's so sick. No, I love swimming. Love the ocean. Problem is, I've got glasses and I don't want to wear contacts, so I can't use goggles really effectively.
I believe, maybe I'm wrong here, but a lot of the problem with vision, vision problems people have are living in a flat society,
Yeah,
staring at the screens and the computers, and also being in like a small room.
I agree with you.
You spend more time outside and you roam the mountain, you go hiking in the mountains,
Yeah, yeah.
it retrains your eyes. I may be ignorant here because I've never worn glasses, but I could have.
Yeah.
I could have. My vision is not perfect. I could put
Yeah.
glasses on. But to me, it's like wearing ankle braces instead of training your ankles to be stronger.
From what I understand, there's multiple different types of damage to your eyes.
Yes.
Where
Some
For
of
a
them are
lot of-
trainable.
yeah,
Some of it's to muscular weakness.
well,
The kind that's to muscular weakness is fixable.
I don't
Trainable.
think it's even that. So the part that you can't fix is like blue light damage from
Yes.
early childhood.
I agree with that.
Like from screens and stuff.
Yeah. How
'Cause
do
the-
glasses help with that, though?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't fucking know. That's kind of weird. Why would glasses help with it?
Yeah.
Because the blue light goes into your eye and like burns a little hole in it. But why would glasses help with that? I have no idea. So maybe you're right. Maybe I could just fucking stop wearing them and look at trees.
You're gonna be, yeah, I think so. Go hiking in the mountains.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it would improve.
there's exercises. I'm gonna like 10 yards out, then 50 yards out, then
Yeah.
100 yards out, then 5 miles out, then 10 miles out, and then back.
Honestly, you're probably right. Because I spend my entire life at my computer, essentially, in front of a screen.
That's
So
what
I
most
don't
people
need
do.
distance.
It's a modern problem.
Yeah. You're probably right. I think I can improve my vision with just like existing in the world.
This isn't also my unique idea. I wish I could say his name, but there was some other YouTuber I did a video with.
Yeah.
This was when I was in California, so it must have been almost 10 years ago, but his channel was all about naturally healing your vision. And he
Okay.
talked about these as well as some kind of cupping exercises like massaging your eyes and stuff like that.
No, I know.
And I
I know.
thought
There's
he
a
was
lot.
right.
There's a lot of people talking about
Smart,
it.
at least.
There's a nutritional element as well because vitamin A is the most important. Have you heard that they say the Native Americans could see for miles? They would climb trees and they could just see forever because they were eating tons of liver, raw liver.
That could be part of it, but a lot of it's probably the training their eyes.
Yeah, I think it's both. I think it's
Yeah.
both. But also, they weren't even the water we drink. It's like it's only recently in human history where we actually just have distilled, purified water to drink. The natives they would take
Yes.
the
Okay.
stomach of a bison
Yes.
and fill it with blood.
All right. Okay, we're moving in a direction of something that's interesting. Okay, do you think that today we need salt? Salt is necessary.
I disagree. We need sodium.
We need sodium. Okay.
We don't need
yes,
salt
okay, I agree with you.
necessarily.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
We need sodium to survive. And today we take crystallized salt, sodium, and we sprinkle it on our food.
Yeah.
10,000 years ago, how do you think people, or say 100,000, how are people getting their sodium?
Well, it's just in the meat.
That's one way. It's in the meat. It's in the blood.
Yeah.
Blood is heavy with salt.
Yeah, yeah.
Another one is if they didn't have distilled water, most people live near the ocean
Yeah.
and they're drinking from the mouth of the river that meets the ocean.
Sure,
Potentially
yeah,
they're drinking
yeah.
brackish water.
Yeah, yeah.
I also believe that people were consuming seafood and sometimes eating stuff like crabs or shells.
Oysters, yeah.
Yeah, and I also think that people may have consumed, not necessarily a lot, but when you're swimming, you consume some seawater,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe intentionally. And another one, I believe this was until modern times. I heard that even the Mediterraneans used to boil their food in seawater, not in fresh water.
Like pasta, for example.
Yeah, so this is an interesting thing where to live in Hawaii and like take salt and then sprinkle it on my food, and I'm like, there's so much salt right there.
But it's also, I think it is different because there's the argument that when nutrients are bonded to food, they're actually digestible. Whereas if you have, especially iodized table salt, which is this processed crystal, that's our body can't use that the same way.
Yeah.
So, like when you're talking about seawater, I don't actually think that would be absorbed. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but I feel like blood, milk naturally has sodium, naturally gets absorbed easily. It's the same with like fucking vitamin C and stuff in drinks.
Yeah, yeah.
You piss that stuff out. You don't absorb that stuff. But in orange
Right.
juice, fresh squeezed orange juice, you get all that. So there's a huge difference between...
Bioavailability. I mean,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
right. I think blood probably was a big part of it. But I think they all made up a piece of the pot. People weren't
Yeah.
adding salt to their
Depends on
food.
the part of the world too. Like in Africa, blood was bigger. In Europe, milk was bigger.
Yeah. Here, probably a lot of it was coming from the sea.
Yeah, for sure. I actually haven't eaten in a long time.
You want to go eat?
Yeah, we go
stop?
eat something.
Yeah, I'm down.
Fading into the midst of the mountain, chasing the youth, take a drink of the fountain, bouncing from 1 to 1,000. I won't hit the ground till I'm run out and doused in kerosene. It's so embarrassing and plain to see the shit you're saying is heresy. Just let me be free. Take a breather before you scream, cause you really might need her. On a heater, I hit her from the back while she leaned on the easel. Hair dipping in the palette, I'm spinning classics like Madness, speaking Japanese like Spike.
Bob's Barbecue, the local Hawaii experience.